Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind. So finally, we hear Fani Willis speak. Now I have to give Fani Willis at least a little bit of credit. She's not like Letitia James, or not as bad as Letitia James, constantly attempting to put herself in the limelight, soaking up all the glory from the Trump derangement Twitter crowd. So we honestly don't get to see her too much, or don't get to see too much of her. But of course, considering everything going on, considering the accusations, considering the possible legal implication, the misuse and misappropriation of taxpayer funds, the multiple elements of clear conflict of interest, Fani Willis of course has to either deny, justify, or explain why what she did was either right or possibly justified. But of course there's only one problem. She's one of those woke Democrats. And so of course let's go through the checklist. There's really only a couple options here in terms of her response. Ding ding ding, you probably guessed it. I'm a mind reader, I know, it's amazing. She played the victim/race card, of course, but also at the same time, in a way kind of indirectly admitting guilt? Of course, she didn't admit to it outright. She is a lawyer after all. But you know, she pretty much all but explicitly said it. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that as Fani Willis responds to the pressure she's currently facing. We've got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright, folks, so literally probably the most unsurprising thing of the week. Here's Fani Willis delivering a speech, I think, on Sunday morning last weekend.
All the glory I receive, it's His grace, not a perfect me. We are at a time in history, people. Hear me on this. We are at a time in history when you can no longer sit back and just let other folks do it. You cannot expect black women to be perfect and save the world. The Lord is completing us. We are not perfect. We need your prayers. We need to be allowed to stumble. We need grace. With that kind of support, we will move mountains and do Jesus' will, stumbling all the way. So his flawed, hard-headed, and imperfect child has a message for each of you today. Please find a way to do your extraordinary, God-given assignment and make this community and the world a better place for all of his people. See, it is never about who you are. It is always about the great I am and who he is. See, we are all flawed, sinners, unworthy, imperfect, damaged, but we are qualified upon his calling. You can find common ground with people of all different ideologies if you simply commit yourself to being obedient and steadfast in your efforts and his word. If you commit yourself, God will turn your hard-headed self into the extraordinary for his kingdom. Thank you.
And now, of course, this can be interpreted as her just generically speaking about black women, you know, the kind of thing that you see in this church setting in general. But of course, that isn't the case at all, I'll tell you, because there's more context here. What I played for you there was a small little snippet, a small clip, but she spoke for nearly an hour, and at one point accused a Trump co-defendant of, quote, playing the race card. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis attacked the bombshell allegations made about her hiring of a special prosecutor and accused her critics of, quote, playing the race card. Former President Donald Trump and others have demanded that DA Willis be removed from the 34-count felony election crimes case on the basis of allegations made without evidence in a court filing by one of Trump's co-defendants. Former Trump campaign official Michael Roman's attorney Ashley Merchant filed a motion alleging that DA Willis had an improper relationship with special prosecutor Nathan Wade, whom she'd hired as part of the Trump elections crime team. The filing promised but did not contain evidence of the accusation. Of course, we covered all of that. DA Willis then spoke at Big Bethel AME Church on Sunday for nearly an hour and addressed criticism of Wade's hiring as she read her letter to God aloud for the congregation. Willis singled out Fulton County Commissioner Bridget Thorne, in addition to others who criticized the hiring, accusing them of, quote, playing the race card and unfairly challenging her decisions and qualifications because she's a black woman. Here's what she had to say.
Why does Commissioner Thorne and so many others question my decision in a special counsel? Lord, your flawed, hard-headed, and imperfect child, I'm a little confused. I appointed 3 special counsel, as is my right to do. paid them all the same hourly rate. They only attacked one. I hired one white woman, a good personal friend and great lawyer. A superstar, I tell you. I hired one white man, brilliant, my friend, and a great lawyer. And I hired one black man, another superstar, a great friend, and a great lawyer. Oh Lord, they gonna be mad when I call them out on this nonsense. First thing they say, oh, she gonna play the race card now. But no, God, isn't it them who's playing the race card when they only question one? Isn't it them playing the race card when they constantly think, I need someone from some other jurisdiction in some other state to tell me how to do a job I've been doing almost 30 years. God, why don't they look at themselves and just be honest? I mean, can't they keep it 100 with themselves? Come on. Why are they so surprised that a diverse team that I assembled, your child, can accomplish extraordinary things? God, wasn't it them that attacked this lawyer of impeccable credentials?
And so all the copium left-wing arguments completely fall apart. They claim that Republicans are misrepresenting the context, but actually the context of her speech was quite clear. When she was referring to, quote, black women can't be perfect, it was after she had spent a significant portion of her speech addressing the accusations and claiming that anybody who had any issue with either her qualifications or the hiring of Nathan Wade was simply playing the race card, as she literally plays the race card to avoid accountability. It's always the exact same thing now, isn't it? Anytime a Democrat is accused of something, facing any type of controversy, woe is me, I'm a victim, I'm receiving threats online. The only reason this is happening is because I'm a woman. The only reason this is happening is because of the color of my skin or immutable characteristic X, Y, and Z, or because of my orientation or identity. How are we ever supposed to have conversations about accountability when it comes to any Democrat of any protected identity group, when every single time said identity group is used as a shield from any criticism? I mean, what an absurd claim, what an absurd notion. And what's really funny, Fani Willis is pretending as if she's facing attacks that are based purely on the color of her skin and her gender, when the obvious reality is that there's concerns that Fani Willis potentially broke the law and acted inappropriately. The accusation that she is facing is that she hired her lover boy, her boyfriend, who wasn't qualified for the position, to be special prosecutor in this case, and I'm not saying that because of the color of his skin, no, the actual experience that he has as a lawyer. He doesn't exactly have the resume of somebody that you'd expect in the position of special prosecutor. It was already a red flag when she chose Nathan Wade, but then it came out that they were supposedly dating. Nathan Wade, her lover boy, received nearly $700,000 to do the job over the last year or so, and supposedly, according to the allegation, or rather, I guess at this point it's probably better to describe it as a rumor, according to the rumors, they then, as a couple, essentially took that money and went on Caribbean cruises and other romantic trips in places like Florida and other locations. Literally nobody that I know at least, nobody serious who's covering this stuff, has ever even once mentioned the fact that Fani Willis is a black woman. I think that might be literally the first time I've ever mentioned it. I've criticized Letitia James as well, and all I ever do is focus on the actions, focus on the words, the merit of these cases, the law, but apparently the only reason that Fani Willis is facing pressure here to recuse herself from this case is because she's a black woman. I mean, it's completely absurd. It's patently absurd. It's absurd on its face. We can't ever have a conversation about merit. We can't ever have a conversation about accountability with leftists because they're always playing these ridiculous little games. And really the only race card that's being played is the one being dished out by Fani Willis herself, because essentially what she's saying here is that black women shouldn't have to face the consequences of their actions because we can't expect them to be perfect. I guess she's just off the hook for meeting with Kamala Harris, sending her little alleged boyfriend to Washington, D.C. to bill the White House, only to come back, accept $700,000 in this politically motivated election interference con job, only to then take that money, enrich themselves, go on their little romantic luxury vacations, all to be forgiven because racism. Absolutely freaking idiotic. Anyways, not much else that needs to be said. I think it's all pretty self-explanatory. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.